It is 7:11, and we have breaking news coming in from Longmont. Within the last hour, an Amber Alert has been issued for a child inside of a stolen car. And we do have a picture of the suspect taken at a surveillance camera this morning at the Bradley gas station on Main Street between 17th and 19th on Longmont. A woman went inside to pay for her gas and left her 4-year-old son in the car.
Police say this man stole the car with the child still inside. This all happened less than an hour ago, so take a look. If you see this man, give police a call. The car is a 2008 Ford Edge. It's red. It has a Colorado license plate 201 RPS. Police say they think the car got on I-25 going south towards Denver. The child's name is Alan Rodriguez, and he is wearing red pajamas. This has to be absolutely terrifying for this mother. If you have any information, give police a call.
Of course, we'll keep following this story throughout the morning here on Daybreak and have the latest for you as it comes into the newsroom. Right now, though, we check in with Chris Tomer and take a look at our Wednesday weather. Chris?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Take a look at this shot. Just about 7:13 is the official sunrise, and there you can see it. That little bright dot, that's the sun, about ready to come up. And you can see the new snow cover, the Green Mountain right here, Lakewood, and then you're looking off into Denver and 6th Avenue. We're going to melt a lot of that snow here today. It's a cold morning, though, in the wake of the storm. 14 City Park, 21 at the airport. There are the clear skies. And our Pinpoint Futurecast continues that here today with sunshine from the mountains to the plains to the San Grays down to the San Juans. And that'll run us all the way through the 5 o'clock evening rush. No storms moving in today at all or tonight. 50 today, my forecast high, 60 tomorrow, about the same on Friday. Another cold front Saturday afternoon, light snow showers around the area, and highs in the 40s. Sunday will be a good day, probably the best day of the weekend, and then right back into the middle 60s, true March fashion, Vicki, by early next week.
Yep, just in time for spring. That looks fantastic. Time saver traffic. Checking out your drive into downtown Denver. It's been a slow one this morning. Much earlier, we had a crash southbound I-25 near Alameda. That's what caused this long jam, and then rush hour started to pick up, so unfortunately never really got to unwind. So the crash at Alameda is gone, but your drive from I-70 into downtown still very slow. It is starting to loosen up now just after that shot at 20th. It remains heavy through Alameda, but again, it picks up slightly. Eastbound 6th Avenue crash at Federal is gone, also improving. Westbound I-70 crash at Central Park Boulevard, but it's on the shoulder, so minimal delays there. Again, speeds are picking up at I-25, I-70 to Bellevue, 28 minutes. Eastbound 6th Avenue, 16 minutes. And northbound 225, there was an accident and I-Lift quickly pulled off the highway. So 4-minute delay with 18 minutes on your drive to I-70. Kim and Tom.
Let's get to the business news. College savings through those 529 plans hit a record high last year, with Americans saving about $227 billion, a jump of some 19%, or $34 billion more than the year before. 529 plans allow money to be saved tax-free as long as the funds do go towards approved college costs. The average total cost of attending a public college rose as well, more than $19,000 this year. The latest version of the Starbucks iPhone app now accepts tipping for the baristas as well. Until now, all Starbucks tipping was done in cash. Well, the new app hopefully means big bucks for those Starbucks employees, because some 10 million customers use the Starbucks mobile app. They say it accounts for 1/8 of all transactions. The app will be available starting on March 19th. As far as Wall Street, 15 minutes away from the start of trading, you can see the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 67 points yesterday. We're looking for a downward start to trading on all three of the major indices as well when they start in, again, about 15 minutes.
Well, here's something that may have you thinking twice before you consider buying a large beer the next time you catch a game or a concert over at Pepsi Center.
I want to show you a YouTube video that an Idaho man shot forcing an arena in Boise to increase the size of large beer after posting this video online. Watch this.
So I've got the large beer filled with green water. I'm going to pour it into the cup that holds the regular beer. There you go. $7, $4 for the same amount.
The small beer sold at CenturyLink Arena held the same amount as the large cup. The large cup on the left actually cost $3 more, but the exact same amount of beer. The stadium vowed to change the larger cups. They tried to blame the cup vendor. You might even remember the Seattle Seahawks had a similar problem at their stadium. This 2011 video surfaced. It might be a fun experiment the next time you head to Pepsi Center, Coors Field, or Mile High Stadium to check as well.
Okay, we do want to get to some breaking news right now. This is Sky 2 following a suspect vehicle. We believe the suspect is inside. Of course, we told you just a few minutes ago, a 4-year-old little boy was inside this apparent vehicle at a gas station. His mother went inside to pay for gas and the vehicle was stolen. Apparently, Sky 2 over the scene right now.
You can see obviously weaving and racing, sprinting down the highway, now heading down the shoulder at high speeds. You certainly worry with the 4-year-old inside what might happen here. But again, Sky 2 following along as police are chasing the vehicle.
That vehicle is a 2008 Ford Edge. You can see it's red in color, the license plate 201 RPS.
They are southbound in Thornton along I-25 coming up on the 120th Avenue exit at this point. They are going to run into rush hour traffic here, so obviously we're very concerned about how this may pan out. But again, police and Sky 2 now in pursuit of this vehicle that police have been looking for about an hour now. It was at 6:20 when at Main Street in Longmont, the woman went inside to pay for her gas and said this man took the vehicle with her 4-year-old son inside the car. So obviously there is great concern. You don't see police right behind them. They are allowing a certain amount of room here, probably trying to take some of the speed out of this pursuit. But the man who was seen in those surveillance pictures certainly driving at a dangerous clip in rush hour traffic and now starting to run into some of that Denver rush hour that will certainly slow things down, but also add a lot of congestion and many other vehicles to the mix.
This is terrifying to think that a 4-year-old little boy may be in the back of this vehicle as it weaves in and out of traffic. You can see it on the shoulder going around. Oh my gosh, close call there. This is really scary. Hopefully police are able to reach him. This is 104th Avenue. You can see this suspect vehicle getting off of the interstate freeway there. You have to think that he's going to have to stop here. This is
He'll be coming
rush hour traffic.
Top of the exit there in North Glen and have to make a decision. He might get back on the highway or may have to go east or west, but instead darting back out onto the highway, hitting a barrel right there. You saw the barrel bounce off the vehicle, but he is now starting to run into the real traffic that you would see on a Wednesday morning at 7:18, but obviously people in front and many people behind have no idea what is coming up upon them. I'm sure a phalanx of police officers are both ahead, behind, and looking out for him. He's now working through the construction area along the right side of the road there. And again, suddenly great speed, skipping the exit, and again working down the barrels. They're going to be obviously working from ahead of him as well now that they've identified the vehicle. Heading up the exit ramp, I should say, off of Thornton Parkway.
It is unclear. I assume it is a possibility that perhaps he let this boy out before police caught up with him. But it is obviously a strong possibility the child is still in the car. This is dangerous and reckless driving that we're seeing here. Hopefully this does not end in a terrible crash.
Again, police keeping their distance from behind the vehicle, but he's worked his way back onto southbound I-25, again in the North Glen area, but now running into the teeth of rush hour traffic. We don't know yet if police consider this man obviously a threat, but is this man armed? A large semi now coming up along on his left side there. And speeds certainly much safer now. We're talking about speeds now in 15-mile-an-hour range, whereas it appeared to be up in the 80 or 90-mile-an-hour range before.
This is a 4-year-old boy who was inside this car. His name is Alan Chavarria Rodriguez. He's wearing red pajamas. You can see the car just got off, exited the interstate there.
Thornton Parkway exit, and is now officially off of the highway, and certainly things are slowing down a bit there, but he'll get to the top and probably have to make a decision about continuing south or deciding to go east or west.
There's the police. Whoops.
So they were going to try to close down some traffic ahead of him there, and he is now making his way west into Thornton and North Glen. So police were probably trying to offer him some sort of escort as well as blockade before he slams into someone from behind.
From this vantage point, it is hard to see where exactly officers are, how close they are. They have to be behind him here, but we, from this vantage point, are unable to see just how close they are. Can we tell which intersection this is? Assuming that these cars driving next to him have no idea exactly what is going on here. Again, an Amber Alert issued about an hour ago. A 4-year-old child in the car when his mother went into a gas station to pay for her gas. A suspect stole her vehicle. This is a police pursuit right now.
Right now racing again to the north, now going across the double yellow.
Oncoming traffic.
And into a turn
gosh.
line. Obviously working much faster in oncoming traffic at this point. And you have to worry how this could work out. He's in very tight quarters, and this suspect fleeing police with a 4-year-old theoretically in the back seat. Now you can see avoiding school buses, major intersections, turning back to the west now.
Oh, this is terrifying to think that a 4-year-old child is on Pecos right now, but a 4-year-old child may still be in this suspect vehicle. A stolen vehicle from a gas station about an hour ago. Police pursuit happening right now.
It's going north, judging by the sunlight actually here. So he is now once again, that's Waterworld. Yes, he's southbound, of course. That's Waterworld, where he is right near up of Sheridan.
Going through traffic, weaving in and out, going through oncoming traffic.
You have to wonder how desperate this person is at this point, the way he's been driving, especially when you think of the size and scope of some of those intersections he's been going through, and what police are trying to do to secure the safety of the 4-year-old, not only from the method of pursuit, but also trying to clear traffic to the front and to the sides, that there are no crossover intersections.
This does seem to be lighter traffic than we were seeing on I-25. Of course, it is 7:23 in the morning. A typical rush hour does involve a lot of traffic and congestion this time of morning, and clearly this driver is finding his way around that on these side streets.
Across Sherrillwood there.
Again, it's still hard to get any perspective from overhead here just how close behind officers may be right now.
This suspect vehicle started off at about 6:20 at that Longmont gas station at Main Street at about 18th. And that's when the woman first reported, when she went in to pay for her gasoline, that a man had taken her car with a 4-year-old boy inside. You can see that he does have the road primarily to himself at this point, which is certainly much safer. We've seen him really working through some dangerous traffic throughout the morning.
Definitely just terrifying thinking of this boy inside this vehicle. Is he slowing down? It is hard to tell. Again, 4-year-old Alan Rodriguez wearing red pajamas in the back of his mother's car at a gas station this morning when a suspect jumped in, took off with the child inside. We do actually have suspect pictures. Police do know who they're looking for.
He just went under the Boulder Turnpike, you could see there, and now heading to another busy intersection, running right through a red light.
Oh my goodness. Definitely picking up speed there.
Yeah, accelerating here, continuing to stay in turn lanes, across double yellows, in traffic. He's heading south on Pecos and just went past the turnpike and continues to make its way to Denver.
Oh no.
Now,
oh my gosh.
It's on the wrong side of the median there as well in the oncoming traffic. It appears they may have even cleared some road. He is applying the brakes there with the oncoming and comes back into his lane.
We're going to stay with this here, folks. Clearly a scary situation, a
Near
close
miss at 64th there at Pecos, and he's taking a left on 64th, heading back to the east now. Racing by people, all too close.
Weaving in and out of traffic, headed right down the wrong side of the road.
Speeds up to 50, 60 miles an hour on a road not built for that.
I wonder if Sky 2 could pull out a little bit so we could see where officers are. He's on eastbound 64th right now. Seems to be a little less traffic in this area.
He's
Oh,
come
here
to
we
a
are.
decision point here.
Oh, let the child out. Again, we are unsure right now if the child is still in this vehicle.
Does he have a destination, or is this just all about fleeing police? They certainly caught up to him quickly. Again, this has been going on since the child was first reported missing an hour and 5 minutes ago in Longmont. But now he's found his way into what appears to be some sort of work site. And we still have not seen police officers. They've given him space. They are trying to take speed out of the equation here, trying to let him go where he wants to go without racing to wherever it is he wants to go or jumping into oncoming traffic lanes.
This does seem to be an area that perhaps he's not familiar with, driving in circles, not quite sure which way to go.
It doesn't seem police are actively pursuing, maybe just monitoring his position. Obviously, from this camera vantage point, they're going to have an idea of where he is and where he's going. But the danger now, as we've seen him go over the double yellow lines so many times, near misses in intersections and with oncoming traffic, traveling at speeds too fast, police are trying to subtract the danger from this by maintaining a safe distance. You can see him racing through an intersection there all too fast.
On the opposite side, headed into oncoming traffic right now. Clearly a high rate of speed as he passes all of the other vehicles.
Going onto the highway again. No idea who this person is driving the car, but we did have suspect photographs earlier from when this all happened at that Longmont gas station. Police knew the identification of who they were looking for. They know, or suspect anyway, that that 4-year-old boy is still in the car, and they knew the vehicle they were looking for because the woman right then and there reported it stolen. Obviously, they had a good description of the car, its license plate, and certainly who was inside. You can see they were up near the power station there, and he appears to be more than anything making random decisions as far as where he's headed.
He doesn't seem to know where he's going, just trying to escape. He's made it quite a good distance away. Of course, this was in Longmont. He took the car at the Bradley gas station on Main Street a little over an hour ago. Still accelerating, high rate of speed. Luckily, not as many cars in this area as there were on I-25.
We saw him by the big power station up near Commerce City, and now apparently heading back to the north, judging by that sunlight coming out of his right. Question is, where does he think he can go? Where does he think he can hide? Did he have any particular intention with this particular child, or was this just some random act? Well, he has the full attention of many police agencies in the metro area at this point, and now he's come to a big cul-de-sac turnaround, is finding his way through a parking lot.
Perhaps this is it. Oh my goodness, off
Well,
the
there
road
appears to be
here.
a ditch or a ravine dead ahead.
So he's off the road now, trying to make his way down to another.
This looks like
is
the
that
highway.
The highway.
Yeah.
Back
This would appear to
on the
be,
interstate.
this could be I-70.
Oh, I-76.
76.
And he is back at it. I-76 eastbound. A short maneuver there across a grassy area from one parking lot onto I-76 is going to be difficult for officers to keep up. He has definitely made lots of turns, headed different ways, made circles, looped around, weaving in and out of traffic on I-76 right now. Sky 2 overhead following this whole ordeal this morning.
An added danger here, of course, is you have the standard sun glare. That's a problem for drivers driving normally, in normal conditions at this time of day, heading eastbound on these roads. And here he is, not even on the road, of course, driving in the left-hand shoulder, certainly accelerating past everyone, traveling at a great rate of speed. And you're just wondering what caused all of this? What triggered someone to do this so dangerous and take take a young life along with you, as a 4-year-old boy apparently is in the back seat.
In other cases like this, we have seen suspects pull over, let a child out, or once they realize there's a child in the back, just ditch the vehicle. We're not sure what happened before officers and Sky 2 caught up with this vehicle this morning, but it is definitely possible the 4-year-old is still inside this car. It must be a terrifying ordeal for that child if he is still in this vehicle.
The question is if that 4-year-old is with a stranger, or if somehow this man knows the 4-year-old, if this was a crime of any specific intent. Again, this red vehicle has been on the lookout, and that Amber Alert sign may have indicated who they were looking for right then and there, and how alarming that might be for other drivers as they see the Amber Alert sign and then have this situation come rolling right by them.
Could you see what that sign said, Tom?
It appeared to be an Amber Alert sign, those
No,
active Amber Alert signs, which I'm sure are activated all around the metro area as soon as this situation began.
88th Avenue. Again, not as much traffic there. You see a sign for 96th Avenue. Not as much traffic, luckily, on I-76 right here as there was over on I-25. This driver obviously desperate. Moving over to the right, weaving in and out of traffic, getting around the big rigs here. High rates of speed this morning. Exiting at back on to 76 this morning. Driving on the shoulder at a very high rate of speed, perhaps with a 4-year-old child in the back.
So hard to imagine at this point that the woman who made the call this morning that her car had been stolen with that 4-year-old inside may even be watching this, or family members watching this unfold. The drama is certainly difficult just for anyone to watch, much less someone connected to either of these people. Continuing along I-76 eastbound, racing through traffic, appearing to take the Fort Morgan destined exit there.
From Sky 2, we have not really seen any officers around this vehicle.
The only time we saw police was at that one exit at 104th, where police, it looked like, almost tried to escort him on back to the southbound I-25 ramp. Instead, he darted to the west and has since been making it up as he goes, it looks like, fashioning this route, and now finally slowing down, but again soaring past everyone, again on I-76, now turning, what's that again? Just going past 104th, so once again heading back north from where this all began.
Of course, all of this started more than an hour ago in Longmont. A mother at a Bradley gas station on Main Street in Longmont going inside to pay, leaving her child in the car. A suspect jumped in and took off with the child in the car. We do have surveillance pictures of the suspect from the gas station. This is a 2008 Ford Edge. It's red with the license plate 201 RPS. The driver started out on I-25 heading south toward Denver from Longmont, but has gone in so many different directions this morning, getting off of I-25, going down side streets, the Thornton North Glen area, then to 76, now headed back. Which direction are we headed right now?
Well, he's going north with the sunlight off to the right there. He is coming up on Sable Boulevard last we saw. And, you know, police, it does not appear, giving him a wide berth. It appears they're giving him a complete berth. They don't want to add any more speed or any more danger to this. There you can see one officer, but he's not doing anything. He's more or less trying to give him room. I mean, this vehicle can only go so far. The question is how fast and how dangerous will it get to wherever it's going. The police very concerned, of course, about the 4-year-old who I assume that they assume is still inside. Otherwise, I think if it was pursuing a man who had let that young hostage, if you will, out, I I think they might be pursuing him more aggressively, trying to end what's a dangerous situation for all of the drivers on the road. And it's been many roads just in the 20 minutes that we've been watching this situation live right here on Daybreak.
I think that was 120th that the driver just crossed. Again, Sky 2 following the suspect driver, presumably with a 4-year-old child in the back. Luckily, not as many cars on this section of 76, even in the heat of rush hour at 7:36 this morning. We did see one officer sitting on the side of the highway there, but made no effort to follow after the vehicle. Vehicle's coming up on 136th right now.
Much less traffic heading northbound, of course, this time of day away from the metropolitan area, and certainly I-76 as well. At this part, less traveled than I-25, where we saw him, and then some of those side roads, smaller streets, and even some of the major cross streets in through Thornton, North Glen, and Commerce City. Now he's getting off at 136th, so he's making a direction here off of the highway again. What's been an apparently directionless drive, maybe before being spotted heading south on I-25. This may have been where he wanted to go in the first place, but now having taken a circuitous route.
Is he headed right back on?
Looks like he's getting back on the northbound I-76 again. It's hard to imagine there's a plan. Looked like there might have been some contact there, or very close to it anyway, with that one vehicle as he got on the highway. Back again on I-76 and once again accelerating past most traffic.
Heading north on I-76 this morning. Very dangerous, high speeds on the shoulder, weaving in and out of traffic.
This puts a great strain on police, not only in the obvious, but also you're talking about many jurisdictions and many agencies that are always tested at times like this as far as how well they communicate with each other, what a plan might be, and who is actually calling the shots right now, from police in jurisdiction to jurisdiction, having to assess the danger to other people on the road, as well as the person driving, and most certainly that 4-year-old boy presumed to be inside of the suspect vehicle.
That was a very close call right there. It has to be a difficult decision, whoever is in charge of that police investigation this morning. Just what do you do to stop the vehicle that will hopefully not harm the 4-year-old if he is in the back?
And one concern would be that you'd have to add into the equation that the woman, I think, had just filled up the car with gasoline. He's getting off at Bromley Lane right now. This car probably has a full tank of gas, because that's when this hijacking, this carjacking took place. He's going to want to change vehicles here. He's taken off of this car.
Oh,
he's jumping
wow.
into this gold van. This looks like a Subaru. And he is assaulting people, chasing them from the car. 2 people.
Is the child?
So hopefully no one is left in that vehicle. 2 people got out. Hopefully no one is left inside. This vehicle now looks to be going south on northbound 76. Did he get all the way across the highway, or is he in the northbound side?
Wrong side of the highway. Just carjacked this vehicle live on television and is driving the wrong way down the highway.
Well, the hope is there's no one left in this vehicle except the one person that police have been chasing. And now,
hopefully officers are getting back to that first vehicle right now to see if that boy is inside and unharmed.
This is not going to end well. This is someone who does not have his senses or wits about him at this point. The hope is that he just doesn't hurt anyone else at this point. This is hard to watch.
Driving the wrong way. Oh my goodness.
He's southbound on northbound 76, south of Bromley Lane at this point, having just carjacked this vehicle. Police are going to have to actively step in now. They're going to have to stop this vehicle. This is going to stop sticks missed. They're going to have to aggressively stop this vehicle at this point. It's becoming a very dangerous situation with more innocents involved at this point, who may be heading north and not knowing what they're heading into.
Hopefully officers can stop traffic here. He's coming up on 136. You could see an officer there making a U-turn in the middle of 76 here.
It appears
Hopefully they
that
can stop traffic.
now he's darting
Oh my
off
gosh.
the
Okay, he's off.
the on-ramp. He's exiting the on-ramp.
Turning right, westbound.
So this might be that 136th overpass. So at least he's in the right lane, the correct lane at this point.
It is actually amazing that a crash did not just happen here in the last 2 minutes.
You still have a sense that this is going to end badly at this point when you see what this man has risked, not only of his own life, but of others. And at this point, has no sense or worry that he might be doing damage to others any second now. We do believe the 4-year-old boy would have been left behind in the Ford Edge. He did not move out of that other vehicle, so if the 4-year-old was still in there, he should be back in that vehicle. 2 people, one thrown out and one jumped out of this vehicle when he carjacked them. Our assumption at this point is that he is alone in this vehicle.
There is an officer following at this point.
Police pursuing now, but at a distance of a couple of 100 feet. But at this point, if they can get information from those 2 who got out of this vehicle that no one else is in here, they may have to take a very aggressive stance with this because he is clearly a threat to not only others, but to many others at this point.
But if they could get ahead of him, they could try the stop sticks. Once again, they tried a few minutes ago, but could not get them properly placed, clearly blowing through the stop sign there. But this driver has been taking so many twists and turns that it's been hard to get ahead of the vehicle.
One vehicle was ahead there. It just went by.
Do we
him
have
going
any
his way.
word on the 4-year-old, if the 4-year-old was found? Okay, we are working to get that information right now. We're making calls to police agencies, trying to find out if the 4-year-old was left unharmed in the original vehicle.
So believed to still be traveling west on 136th at this point, moving over into oncoming traffic again, and now coming onto 85, Highway 85, and once again starting out the wrong way on the highway. He's again going south in the northbound lanes of Highway 85. That's the road many take up to Greeley, but is now crossing through the median and into the correct side again, southbound in the southbound lanes of 85. This pursuit we've been watching for nearly 30 minutes now, and it was about an hour and 25 minutes ago that the call came in from the Longmont gas station that a man had hijacked a red Ford Edge, stolen while a woman was inside paying, stolen with a 4-year-old boy in the back seat. It was just a few minutes ago we saw the suspect get out of that red Ford Edge, pull over this car by forcing his way in front of it, throwing the driver out. A woman got out of the passenger seat, and now he's been taking off in this vehicle, driving at length the wrong way on the highway.
He's westbound on E470 here. You have to wonder, did he change vehicles just because the 4-year-old was in the back of the other vehicle?
He may not know how much attention he's getting. I have to think he does have a good idea of how much attention he has, not only from police, maybe from media as well, but more importantly for him, how much police and how many police officers have their full attention focused on him.
From Sky 2 here you can see he's making the loop, getting on to, let's see here.
Eastbound. So he's on E470. He is eastbound. Again, highway driving, and this, of course, adds so much speed to the mix of a man who obviously does not fear much for his own life and may not have the concern that you'd hope for the lives of others. He certainly put many people's lives in danger just in the 25 or 30 minutes that we've been watching him drive throughout the northern part of the metro area this morning. And now again, you have so many unsuspecting drivers wondering what is going on.
This has been such an anxious half an hour here. This driver's been weaving in and out of traffic, going the wrong way on various interstates, all possibly in his first vehicle with a child in the back, carjacking another vehicle. You can see an officer, lights on, following at this point. We did see officers try throwing stop sticks, but they missed. The driver was able to get around them.
He's heading towards the airport now up in the northern part along 470 with a police officer close behind.
Yeah.
This is as close as we've seen police officers to him throughout the day, passing cars along the shoulder as well. There goes stop sticks again, apparently just a second too late as well. We'll see if they had any effect. They seem to be accurately thrown, but maybe just a second late to do any damage to the tires, but we'll see if they did in fact do any damage to this vehicle. This is the second vehicle this suspect has been seen driving just while we've been following this pursuit live throughout the last 30+ minutes on Daybreak.
This driver was on I-25, he's been on 76, now on 470, he's been on many of the side streets in the Thornton and North Glen area, weaving in and out of traffic, driving directly into oncoming traffic. You can see him on the shoulder there. Very dangerous driving this morning. Of course, anyone watching this would be fearful of how this will end.
Great concern, obviously, for so many innocent people who are just out on their morning commute, or many just trying to get to the airport, bringing kids to school, and all being put in peril by this one driver, who theoretically is now driving in this vehicle by himself, which is certainly an improvement over what we had seen earlier when we had that 4-year-old boy in the back seat. We're told the 4-year-old boy was in fact in the back seat of that red vehicle that this all began with in Longmont an hour and 30 minutes ago.
That was 104th Avenue that he just passed there as he was weaving around vehicles. Still headed toward the airport this morning.
Racing and weaving, and obviously speeds now in excess of 70 miles an hour as he's passing cars that are cruising along. He's slowing down here.
Still weaving in and out of traffic, going on the shoulder. It'd be pretty scary to be a driver on any of these roadways this morning as well. Having watched this for so long, it is shocking to me that there hasn't been a bad crash thus far.
Unfortunately, it seems like one's coming. It just seems like this is not going to end as you would hope in any sort of safe situation without someone having damage done to them.
There's an officer there. Stop sticks. No, not able to get him out. Of course, the big fear this morning was for that 4-year-old boy in a different vehicle that was carjacked this morning or stolen from a gas station in Longmont. The 4-year-old boy, we are hoping, is all right. The suspect did ditch that vehicle and carjacked this one.
So he is closing in on the airport at this point. He is closing in on DIA. And
coming up on Pena.
So now you add a different security level to the mix here. Certainly the airport has its own security, its police working with DPD, but also just as far as what airports are allowed and not allowed to have happen in and around them because of Homeland Security.
We have seen several officers try this morning to use the stop sticks, but those efforts have been unsuccessful. They have not been able to get properly placed in front of this vehicle. Perhaps if they can get ahead of him, they can try that again.
He did not get off there at the Pena Boulevard exit, continuing along 470.
Oh, good news. The 4-year-old boy is okay. We've just learned that from our sources in law enforcement this morning. The 4-year-old has been found and is all right, which is such a relief. Just so many terrifying, anxious moments this morning, knowing the 4-year-old was in the vehicle with a suspect.
The concern now, you mix in what he did to get this vehicle, willing to stop another vehicle and throw people out of the car and force people from another car. You're talking about a desperation level at this point, or some sort of loss of sanity, that this driver is seemingly willing to do anything and at all costs willing to continue to run and that heightens concern as far as what he might be willing to do.
It's coming up on 64th and E470 this morning. Despite this reckless behavior, at least the 4-year-old is no longer in danger.
He has a lot of clear road now, which certainly is one of the best sights we've seen. He's been working through so much traffic through the morning, but now apparently a lot more room, which certainly would be a lot safer for those other people. So many people on the highway this morning may or may not know how close they've come to having a real dangerous day. This person driving obviously at very dangerous speeds, going the wrong way at times, fleeing police, and for the better part, police have kept their distance.
They have. Several times, as we have said, they've tried to use the stop sticks to puncture the tires. They've not been properly placed. Does seem like he's gaining speed once again. From this vantage point from Sky 2, it's hard to see if there are officers in close pursuit or if they're giving him a little bit more space this morning.
So he will be once again getting to I-70 as he travels down along 470 here. He's gone past the airport and now continues to head south towards 70. And once again, when you talk about I-70 at this time of day, obviously you're talking about adding a lot of cars into the mix. If in fact he makes any sort of decision before or at I-70, you have to wonder how he sees this ending, if he sees this ending.
Hopefully officers are trying to get ahead of him at this point.
He's been hard to get ahead of because of so
Yes.
many direction changes and random road changes, including some that didn't involve roads.
We have seen him on I-25, we've seen him on 76, we're seeing him now on 470.
Got an 85 for a while.
That's right. And also on several side streets in Thornton and North Glen area. Clearly did not know where he was going in that area, making loops and turns and driving through a parking lot, through a grassy area,
So
off-roading.
if you've left the airport on 470, you know that he will come across that, and he can, there you see the sign indicating what is happening. And obviously this has to be very alarming to people, especially with conditions changing so much as far as where this pursuit is taking place. It has covered so much of the northern metro area, from Longmont all the way across to DIA, going from west to east, with many different agencies involved as well in between.
Luckily, there is not much traffic on 470 right there.
So it looks like he is crossing 70. And then would be heading for Colfax and the 6th Avenue Parkway on 470 as well.
Again, from this vantage point, it's just hard to see where officers may be, how close they are.
Yeah, they may be very busy trying to clear path ahead and try to prevent that accident that I'm afraid to say seems so inevitable that's going to end this chase at some point.
You can see the sign there for the 6th Avenue Parkway. Just give you some bearings as to where he's headed right now. This has been going on for quite some time now.
We picked up the pursuit about 40 minutes ago that we've been watching this happen. It's involved two vehicles. The suspect first driving the red Edge that he carjacked from a gas station in Longmont. That call came in at about 6:20, over an hour and a half ago, when a woman said a man had stolen her car with a 4-year-old in the back seat. We picked up the pursuit about 7:15, and it was about 20 or 30 minutes ago when that vehicle then stopped in front of this car. Two people were thrown out from the car, and then the suspect has taken off, presumably alone in the vehicle. Police, I'm sure at this point, have determined from those two people who were taken from this vehicle if there is or is not anyone else in this car. There was a 4-year-old boy in the red car. The 4-year-old is safe. And there you see that sign again, warning people about what is happening. It's hard to pinpoint, though, trying to get the word out to people out on the road what's happening, because it's happened in so many places over the course of an hour and 30 minutes.
The sign simply said, "Police pursuit in progress, drive with caution." We have seen a couple of drivers realize something was awry and pull over, allow the car to pass. Again, the good news this morning, that 4-year-old child that was in the back of the first car that was stolen is all right this morning.
And you see another police vehicle that was watching that exit ramp, or the entrance ramp there.
Making his way around some cars.
He definitely has some traffic slowing down ahead of him here, and these people may, having read the sign, may understand that this is going on and just slow down to stay safe. It doesn't appear there's a lot of traffic there to slow them down. 470 at times, a wide open road, and appears that it's been wide open this morning for him.
This is really amazing to watch unfolding right here. Sky 2 overhead for at least 40 minutes this morning as a suspect in a car theft from a gas station in Longmont is leading police on quite the pursuit this morning. Originally a red Ford with a 4-year-old child in the back.
Crossing over Quincy, got about another 10 miles or so before you'd have to be concerned about what would be a very busy southern part of I-25. But there you see the Quincy exit. And police, I'm sure, are still trying through interagency as well as the state patrol sort out exactly how they want to manage this. So many different police departments involved. And now he's going to head down into the ditch here to try to get by these trucks.
We're told that Sky 2 is moving at 102 knots and is having a hard time keeping up with this driver. Definitely you get the sense of panic and desperation from the driver, just seeing some of the things that he has done on the roads this morning. Making his way along 470 this morning. Presumably, he's the only person in the car at this point.
Even if we don't know that, I'm sure police do. I'm sure they talked to those two who this car was taken from, making a close brush there with what looked to be an unmarked police car. This is the furthest south this pursuit has gone. It was mostly on the north side of the metro area, but now having passed DIA and headed south on 470, he is continuing to race to the south, down towards the Gartrell exit. Some of the exits, this is the Smoky Hill Road exit.
Just think about all the ground that he has covered today. I mean, this started in Longmont at 6:20. It's coming up on 8 o'clock right now.
When you see the on-ramps, police have been blocking these on-ramps, trying to keep traffic off of the road. The Smoky Hill on-ramp coming up, you see police have been trying to keep traffic clear off of there, aside the traffic that is already on the 470. There you can see all the traffic being held up from getting onto the highway and giving him all the room he needs. They certainly have given him a great deal of space. There was a lot of caution when the 4-year-old was presumed in the backseat of the red Ford Edge. Now, with the understanding of who is or is not in this vehicle, police, especially when he was racing down the highway the wrong way, you had to think they were pretty close to having to take immediate and drastic action to take this person out, take this person off the road. You're talking about speeds here well over 100 miles an hour there.
What area is that right there?
Going by the Gartrell exit, so you're out near the Saddle Rock Golf Course on the east side of town. And now you're concerned, obviously, you start heading towards Parker and again towards I-25. And obviously the traffic there is something that's very difficult to manage at this time of day.
And these are clearly high rates of speed. We're told this driver is approaching Parker Road, very busy, 8 a.m., 470 and Parker Road this morning. But we did see that lines of cars were being held up, being kept back and away from 470 this morning, trying to give this driver, this suspect, some space.
It's 8 o'clock. We've been following this situation live on television for more than 40 minutes now, a situation that started to unfold an hour and 40 minutes ago with a carjacking in Longmont. A woman telling police her car was stolen when she went in to pay for gasoline on Main Street in Longmont at the gas station there at 1750 Main Street. Her 4-year-old son was in back. So an Amber Alert was issued and police started tracking a red Ford Edge with a Colorado plate. They knew what they were looking for and they found it. Sky 2 followed the pursuit of that vehicle through some dangerous conditions with a 4-year-old on board. About 30 minutes ago, that car suddenly stopped. You can see it on your left right there. He gets out. He takes the driver out of the car. The passenger on the right side, on the screen on your left, jumps out of the vehicle. Presumably, no one is left in the car. But it was at this point that we changed from the red Ford Edge, the 4-year-old boy left behind in the back, thankfully, and then that gold van, or SUV, takes off going the wrong way, down the highway. On the right is a live picture of where we stand now. This gold van has been pursued by police for more than an hour and is now on 470, rapidly approaching I-25 at speeds well over 100 miles an hour at times. Police have kept their distance for the most part, have tried to keep others safe by shutting off entrance onto the roadways, by blocking entrance ramps. But as we continue to follow this, a very dangerous situation unfolding and great concern for how this might end and what the motivation would be for someone to put so many lives in danger.
This driver has covered so much ground this morning, starting out on I-25. He hit Highway 85, he's been on 76, now he's on 470, approaching I-25 down south this morning. There's a lot of ground, at times driving on the wrong side of the interstate, of the highway, weaving in and out of traffic, driving on the shoulder. You can see it here.
Very dangerous. They're nearly hitting a pedestrian who may have hit one.
Looks like he hit the guardrail. His tire may be out.
They did get a stick under it there, but that might have been a police officer who got in front of him and did lay down a stop stick, but he might have hit that pedestrian as well, who seemed to run into that fence or jump the fence, either a close call or someone was hit. And again, you can see the old toll booths there and traffic starting to pick up here. He's going to run into more and more traffic as he gets close to I-25.
He seems to be still moving along just fine. Whatever happened there is not slowing him down. He's still weaving in and out of traffic at what looks to be a high rate of speed.
Coming up on Peoria, and that you can see the smoke coming out of the vehicle or the tire, and he has finally gotten off the highway here, and you worry about anyone ahead because he may think that it's time to get another vehicle. He's jumping out of the car.
Door open. The door is open.
Slams
He's
into
crashed.
a car. He might not have had brakes there, and he's off on foot. And this is not going to go well.
What? He went back to the car for something. He's back
no
inside.
idea what he's looking for. He's able to just get out through the snow there.
The car is smoking.
So there's damage on that left front. There's damage on the right from when he hit that other vehicle.
He's on Peoria right now.
Eastbound on Peoria, actually heading to the south.
You can only hope that this vehicle does not make it much further.
Well, your concern is when he gets out, what his plan might be. This might be his next vehicle. He wants.
Oh, gee.
He's trying to carjack another vehicle.
Open. He was pushing the other vehicle along. Thankfully, they were able to separate there.
I think he wants to rear end someone to try to get them to stop.
Oh no, he has another vehicle he's crashed into. Parts of the car are just dropping off. The door is open.
This guy's going to act like it's no big problem. Or he has a, does he have a weapon? No.
He's trying to carjack someone else.
No.
This is a third carjacking. Oh, no, 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 no.
Let him go.
Oh my Lord.
This is a third vehicle this suspect has taken this morning, 2 of them happening on live television. This is a man obviously desperate. You can see the driver there running after her vehicle. Again, driving into
He's the
oncoming
wrong,
traffic.
well, police were going up there trying to stop him.
Okay, now he is in a silver sedan. This is his third vehicle he has stolen this morning.
Heading southbound.
We can only hope that there's no one else in this vehicle with him. That woman clearly was trying to get back inside.
We've seen the terror now of a carjacking live on television twice.
This is Peoria approaching Lincoln this morning.
You have to imagine that the attitude of police towards this man is becoming
an
more and more
officer.
aggressive. One officer there. As we head into the intersection, this
Crash, there is an
officer,
officer right there. This man is on foot.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, a fourth vehicle he tried. He's running. This may be the end. He's on foot through the snow.
the damage behind actually minimal when you consider what's happened. And now this man on foot, certainly a danger to anyone he comes across at this point, continuing to run.
You have to hope he's not searching for another victim. He's down.
Changing his appearance, wanting to get rid of the yellow coat maybe, and going instead.
Possibly looking for another vehicle.
There's a police vehicle behind him there, and he's come across.
He's trying to get over a fence. On the run, police. Here it is. This is it.
And
he
he
is
has
on
surrendered.
the ground.
After all of this, he has surrendered, thankfully. Police officers,
It is over. Officers have their man in
after
custody.
an hour and 40 minutes of pursuit through most of the metro area, from Longmont down into Parker and many points in between, this suspect has now been arrested. 3 officers right there with him. The damage he left behind, the crimes he left behind will be sorted out now. But this scene, which was so dangerous and really put so many people in danger, is now thankfully over.
And the big relief this morning is that 4-year-old boy who was inside the original vehicle that was carjacked out of Longmont. That 4-year-old is all right. Probably absolutely traumatized, being driven through this high-speed chase. Well, it wasn't a chase. It was just the suspect taking him along the ride. You can see the suspect is in custody this morning.
This south of Centennial Airport, Peoria and Lincoln, roughly where it all came to an end. Obviously, we'd seen 2 of what were 3 carjackings. We've seen or know of the one kidnapping of that 4-year-old boy, and we've seen some of the most dangerous and terrifying driving you can imagine on live television. There, one of the accident scenes right below as we get a look at the intersection where it all came to an end. The final accident happening right here. This is the one that got him out of his vehicle. One patrolman was right there this time, though, when he got out of the vehicle and was able to flush him away from cars. He then took off on foot and was able to run what looks to be a couple of 100 yards maybe before police finally got him. He surrendered and is now being taken into custody. This is the second carjacking in the left screen. This is when you can see his vehicle that he had carjacked about 40 minutes ago was starting to break down. He hit a vehicle, acted like it was an accident, went walking up to someone who would stop. If you didn't know, you would stop thinking you'd been in an accident. And then once he gets up next to her, he obviously just throws her out of the car.
This is so scary. She tries desperately to get back in,
And
and he takes off.
you can see on the right the live pictures now, police beginning to ascertain just who this person is. And it'll be over the course of the next few days trying to sort out why all of this happened. What drove this man to do all of this and to bring what was a form of terror to an unsuspecting morning commute. I mean, how many people did we see this morning drive alongside or by or right at this driver who theoretically would have driven into them or slammed into them or run them over without giving it a moment's thought? There was one other close call, of course. We saw what might have been a stop stick being put down that damaged that van or SUV when it looked like he might have even hit a pedestrian or a police officer who had put a stick down. Either way, it was a very close call, and we'll have to go back and look at that videotape and just see how close that event was as well, because it seems that for all that happened, the damage done in relation to what happened is minimal.
It could have been so much worse. And after nearly 2 hours on the run, it seemed that it was a fence that actually brought this to an end, and the suspect eventually just laying down on the ground when police approached.
And you had to think police officers didn't expect a surrender.
I didn't.
After all of this, it seemed like this was as desperate as someone could be, either to escape or just to get away with what they were doing. And it seemed, thankfully, to be a very benign ending instead of what appeared to be headed for a very violent one of one form or another, whether behind the wheel or in some sort of struggle with officers.
It's unclear if this man had a weapon. We did not ever see him brandishing one when he carjacked these victims. It did seem that he just threw them out of the car.
Right. You can imagine the surprise of being on your morning commute and someone coming up to you and throwing you out of the car right there. And there you see Douglas County Sheriff's. I think it was that vehicle, the Douglas County Sheriff's officer, that was on the scene as that final accident took place and was able there to also prevent the suspect from taking another vehicle, yet another one. And it's been a wild ride. Right now it's 8:12, and we've been following this for almost an hour now live right here on Daybreak. And we want to try and put back together everything that happened because it's been so busy. But it was nearly 2 hours ago. It was at 6:20 this morning when the call came in at Longmont that this car, a red Ford Edge, had been hijacked from a gas station. A woman had gone inside to pay, and her car was stolen with her 4-year-old son inside. That set off this chase. A 4-year-old inside, an Amber Alert issued. Well, this car then took off, weaving all over the northern metro area with police in what I would call a soft pursuit, trying not to get this man to drive as crazily as he did. But Sky 2 was over it over the last hour. Eventually, this vehicle was changed out. A carjacking of another vehicle then took place. You can see him driving the wrong way, going through intersections at high rates of speed, a very perilous ride. Then there was this carjacking live on television. He leaves the red Ford Edge. He leaves the 4-year-old boy. He throws the driver of this minivan out, and then the passenger, we believe to be the only other passenger vehicle, out. And then for some of the most dangerous moments of the morning, he heads back going the wrong way down the highway, leaving it to other drivers to figure it out. Luckily, everyone did. No one was hurt. But this vehicle then became the suspect vehicle, and it cut across from west to east along the north side of town. And then finally, with his car damaged, he was able to carjack one more vehicle, banging into this car and then taking this unsuspecting woman from behind. Once he got up to her car door, he was able to throw her out of the vehicle as well. A third carjacking in a morning. Well, the suspect, after getting away from here and throwing this woman down, she wanted to fight back for her car, but he was gone by then. Well, this vehicle then involved in an intersection near Lincoln and Peoria, and that would be the final accident of his in the morning, when he hit this intersection and slammed into this vehicle with what appears to be a Douglas County State Patrol or Douglas County trooper right behind. Instead of being able to get into and take this car, the trooper is able to prevent that by being on the scene. And then it turns into a foot chase that would last maybe less than a minute. He's able to run a couple of 100 yards with police from several jurisdictions in hot pursuit, and with great data from above, the helicopter overhead telling him of every move. He was only able to get to a fence that he tried to jump but couldn't. There was no violent confrontation with police officers there. Instead, suddenly, after all of this, more than an hour and a half of being pursued by police, the suspect did finally surrender. And there's so many questions.
My goodness. In the end, he did go out more quietly than we'd expected. This was a very, very dangerous run that he was on this morning, weaving in and out of traffic all over the metro area. Thankfully, that 4-year-old child is okay. You have to wonder if he ditched that vehicle just because the 4-year-old was inside.
Well, he certainly was the 4-year-old was with him for a great part of the ride. So it's There are a lot of questions that certainly will need to be answered. We're going to gather the latest information and find out exactly what may have happened this morning, what may have driven this man to this, get the conditions of everyone involved. Obviously, there were accidents and there were people who had their cars taken from them. We're going to piece this all together, but we need to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to sum it all up and try and figure out just what went on this morning here in the metro area on Daybreak.